Hello everyone, this is a video in collaboration with Just Katie, and it's this video is about seeking support if you're an adult service user. If you view Just Katie's video, that video that she produces will be about seeking support regarding mental health if you're a young person, so I'll let her cover that section of the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie and welcome to today's video. This is a collaboration with one of my favourite mental health YouTubers. His YouTube name is A Caring Mind, and we decided to do a collaboration on how to ask for support or how to get support when we are suffering from mental illnesses. And please also bear in mind that my part of the video is from the perspective of a young person.
If you're over 18 and unfortunately you might have picked up mental health or feel you're in mental health distress, depending on the levels of distress, I'm going to describe just a very basic way that you can seek support. And please take note, I'm not a mental health professional. However, obviously I'm going to, within those steps, I will guide you to where you can get support by speaking to mental health professionals. So anyway, let's try and make the video as quick as I can, because sometimes I can ramble on and I don't want to do that. I know I'm me known to just chat and chat. Alright, so the first step really, if you feel that you're not so well, or if you're wondering, look, my health isn't as good as it should be, and this is probably common to anyone, even if you feel like I'm a carer and that I'm looking after someone using the services, is just to keep an eye on yourself first. That's the first thing you should do before you see anyone. I would think is just say, look, step by step, how am I feeling today? Not always easy, obviously, if you reach the worst stages of a mental health crisis. But before you get into that crisis, I always say this to anyone: each day journal, ask yourself how you feel in some sense, seek CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or increasing access to psychological therapies. That's one service that's prescribed by a GP. That's the very first thing. Keep care of yourself before you get to that stage where you're in hospital. The next thing, really, if you feel that you're not so sure but you do feel like something's not right, and perhaps we could pick out a mental health situation which someone could end up in. And I think a good one is depression. And if you feel like you're under the weather, talk to people. Talk to your close friends. Notice I say close friends, don't talk to anyone, because there are some people who think it's a bit of a laugh. And I know men can be a bit at fault on this. When some other people, like other males, open up to their best mate, who's obviously a man, they'll just say, "Oh, just, man, sort it up. What are you talking about? Don't be a sissy," or anything like that. Speak to close friends, speak to family. Say you're feeling a bit under the weather, listen to them. Sometimes they might not offer anything. Perhaps you might not want them to give you any advice, and you just want to just have some emotional release and just talk to them. That they are, your family or your friends for a reason.
From the perspective of a young person, which varies, and it's different when an adult is reaching out for support to when a child is reaching out for support. So a number one way that we can ask for support and receive support is from our GPs. Can help by prescribing medication or giving information or referring you to services, and they are just there just to listen. Usually GPs don't like prescribing medication for mental illnesses to young people, mainly because of the side effects of it. But if you are an adult, then that is a possibility, or it is an option for you. They can also give leaflets or useful information about how to cope or how to deal with your illness. In the UK, we have a service called CAMS, and that stands for Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services or Service, and a GP does have the power to refer you onto CAMS if they believe that you need special intervention or treatment.
Right, so the third step, so you've kept an eye on your health and perhaps you missed something and you're not feeling so well. You've talked to your friends and they don't feel they can offer any support, but they're listening in. You've talked to your family and they're not sure where you're getting at. So the next best step is to speak to mental health charities. So instead of just talking about them, alright, I'll pick out one. Rethink is a good one. Give them a call. What I'm going to do is just cut this video and provide you a list.
The second way that you can get support and ask for support is professional mental health charities. I live in the UK, so I apologise to anybody who lives outside of the UK, but it's so easy just to Google professional mental health services or charities or whatever. But in the UK we have a charity called Samaritans, and they offer a 24-hour emotional support helpline. They have a phone number that you can call, and they also have an email. Also, another charity that I've found is so helpful to me is Mind.org. They provide information and advice about different types of mental illness and ways that you can ask for support and get support and receive support. They also have on their website people's stories, people's own personal stories about their own battle with addiction or mental illness or whatever it is, and it's quite comforting to know that you aren't alone in your battle.
It's alright, so you ring up any of these charities, free to call. Some of them are free to call, I believe. Ask them about, what is it like if I'm feeling under the weather. Get some advice. All I can say to this is Google is your friend, and I'm sure Katie has mentioned this in her section of this collaboration video. Right, so now we've tried 3 steps. One is trying to keep an eye on yourself. Most important one, look after yourselves. You have to live in your own body, live in your own mind. Don't neglect it. You lose those 2 things, you got nowhere else to go. Number 2, friends and family, free. Seek mental health advice through these charities. That doesn't work too much, the first 3 steps. I'd always say, alright, now it's time to go and see your GP, time to see a health professional. You want to get some advice, really, and they should have at least some idea, that's their profession, to say, look, what's the next step? Now you have to be a bit persuasive. Not all doctors are alike. Some will sort of say, well, come back and see me next week when the situation is really bad. You do know the situation is bad. Other doctors will sort of pick up on some things and they might refer you. But this is depending on how difficult your mental health mental health situation is. So the doctors will take a number of steps, to be honest. One is that probably will give you some medication if they feel the mental health situation isn't too desperate. They might refer you to other services, other mental health services. Worst case scenario is that they may, I shouldn't really laugh at this, it's quite serious, is you could be sectioned if it's really bad. You might end up having to take yourself to hospital, or you're referred to an inpatient unit. And this will go on to the next step if you end up as a patient in a mental health unit.
As I said, this is the perspective of a young person, so the chances are young people are still in education, still in school, and schools can sometimes be a great source of support. You know this, maybe you don't, but if you do go to somebody at school, or like a teacher or a counsellor, they do have a duty of care, and they do have to pass on certain information. There are 3 times when a person cannot keep information confidential, which it is if you are at risk of hurting yourself, hurting somebody else, or if somebody is hurting you. There are so many people that you can go to at school. There are teachers, or if you have a school librarian, talk to them. Or in most schools there are school counsellors. Schools can also speak to pastoral support, which can give you further help and support. Or and your specific teacher can provide help in school. So if your mental health problem or whatever you are dealing with in your life is affecting your education and ability to learn, at least they are aware of your problem, and they are able.
Obviously, you're not going to depending on the illness, you're not going to be too sure what is going on. So I'm saying this before, like, if you do end up there at a later date, take my advice to heart. It might take a week or 2, I don't know. It really depends on the mental health problems you might have picked up, on mental health illness. Do take note what information staff give you on the ward, services of the ward, what to expect, who is going to be allocated to support your situation. Know where you are. Going on from that, you might wish to contact your family to say you're safe. This may take a week, maybe 2 weeks. It really depends on what the situation is. This is, as I said, there's only very basic steps that I'm providing here. After a length of stay on the ward, you obviously will be asked to attend a ward round to speak to your allocated consultant, psychiatrist, or consultant, who will ask, obviously if this is the first time you've gone into the ward, you want to ask about your circumstances and if you know where you are and how you came to be here. It's very important you attend your ward round, and what happened on that ward round is you should be allocated, well, before you even get to your care plan, you should be told your rights and why you have been kept on the ward. Those are very, very important, because unfortunately when you are sectioned, it's against your rights. Whether you feel you should be there or not, you're held for your own safety and for other people's safety. So obviously, gone on from that, please attend the ward rounds on the wards, because it's going to form your care plan to the moment when you're discharged from the ward. Keep that care plan with you for dear life in some sense, because basically that is going to be one step to aid in recovery or coping out when you're back in the community.
And finally, family and friends. We are often frightened of telling our family and friends because we don't know what their reaction is going to be, and we become scared that they will become concerned about us, and then we don't want to put that extra pressure or concern or worry or anxiety on them, so then we just keep it to ourselves. But family and friends also can provide help and support, and help us to cope and provide us with happy times and happy memories which uplift our mood. Or family and friends are the people that will be there for you and be closest to you when if you reach out for professional help. My parents took me to my CAMHS appointment. My mum, I was really scared to tell my family, but it's my family's job to worry about me and to look after me, and your family and friends will be concerned about you most of the time, but it's better them knowing than them not knowing.
Obviously, the first 3 steps still heavily apply if and when you are discharged from the ward. That is, continue to monitor your health with the support of those allocated to you, if you do get anyone allocated to you out in the community. Doubly make sure that you are not isolated trying to cope with your mental health system or symptoms, and that you keep in touch with your family, drop a plan with them on how they can be involved in supporting your needs. Same with your friends. I know there's a lot of stigma and you might not want to open up, but apparently that is a tool you should be using to help you cope in order to get support, especially if you're suffering from mental distress after being discharged from the ward. And again, speak to those charities: Mind, Sane, Rethink, attend support groups, service user support groups, patient support groups. Keep in touch with the consultant, or vice versa. They should really be keeping in touch with you, checking up on how you are. But those were the basic steps that I could think of off the top of my head. As noted, this is a video in collaboration with Just Katie, and perhaps we can do more at some point.
I hope these tips from me are helpful. I hope that this video reaches somebody out there who is in need of asking for support and help. Also, there are online communities that you can join. I have my own online community where I talk about my own mental health issues and my journey of reaching out for support, which is very ironic. And just know that there are people out there who want to help you and who want to support you, and I am one of them. So
feel free to subscribe not only to my channel but also to Katie's, because the difference between what I produce on my videos on my YouTube channel and what she provides on her channel is that her perspective is coming from a young person, which is actually quite a rare thing, and her stuff is good quality. She knows what she's talking about. She's planned a lot of stuff and she's very dedicated. So please subscribe to Just Katie. She's asking you to follow her journey through the system, through the eyes of a young person. So, and I'm heavily involved in the mental health profession, so that's why I'm recommending please check out her channel. Well, I hope you can join either Katie or myself on my own videos regarding mental health carers and mental health, and Katie's on journeying through young person's perspective through mental health. As I said, please subscribe if you like the video, comment below or do a like. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching.
I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.